I feel like the greatest reward I can have, or one can have, with this heat wave currently going on in Nigeria, or maybe all over the world, because I think there should be global warming, but maybe it's just worse here. Because I was telling my sister that if you raise your hand very well, you might touch the sun. It's that bad. I don't even know. The weather is hot. Like even when rain falls, the weather is still hot. Please now, please, please. The weather is really hot, and the biggest reward you can have is rain actually falling after the hot weather. But no, I don't know what is happening in Badagry because rain is not falling. Yeah. And people keep saying, oh, there's heat wave, but at least rain is falling. It's clearing up Kiniko. Something is not clearing up here, and it's bad. Anyways, I kind of just woke up, so my voice might be rusty from not being used over the night, I guess. So, welcome back to Troubled Water Sit Still, where I talk about what's going on in my life, what's going on in your life, and what God has to say about it. So, today I just want to say something that came to my heart last week. So, there's something that people don't get to talk about enough, and as adults or growing adults or as people undergrads who are in school is something that we've all been there. I'm kidding you not. We've all been there. If you're not there currently, you've been there before. So it's something that we can easily relate to. And for some reason, people don't get to talk about it enough. Okay, so I just graduated. If you're listening to this and you kind of don't know me, so I just graduated from the university. Still, I can still consider myself a fresh graduate. I mean, I've not even gone for my service yet. So I graduated last year, and I had to come back home because I'm not living alone or something. I mean, cost of living is even expensive. So if nobody's pressuring you to leave your parents' house, please do not. That's my candid advice. As long as there's no pressure anyway. But moving on. So when I go back home, I kind of felt this hollow feeling in my heart, and it kept on getting bigger. I just wanted to run away because damn, nobody talks about the the sudden awakening that happens to you when you leave student fellowship or student based church or youth based church to local churches. Oh my god, it's like somebody poured cold water on you and woke you up abruptly. It is very bad. And I'm not saying this because local churches don't grow their members or local churches aim for youth that youth local churches, but you can't compare it to local church where probably a student is the president or you have a youth pastor. Because I mean, I had experience with both. I had experience with both where a student is a president and where you have a youth pastor. I enjoyed the youth pastor model, but then I still want to say that it's not still the same as going to a local church where nobody is concerned about whatever it is that's going on with you. You look like the child there anyways. Oh my god, it's a rude awakening. And even spiritually, I was discussing with a sister and she was saying it's not that they're not preaching the word, but I feel like I, I don't feel spiritually fed. And honestly I could relate because excuse you, what's all this that we're hearing? Sometimes the sermon is tailored to their audience. They're not expecting much youth to get, and someone is tailored to their audience, and you're just there feeling like, does anybody see me? And the church is one place for me where I get to be seen. Not that the pastor knows me. I don't know. Aside from when I was in the fellowship because I served, aside that, even that, there's some people that still don't know me because let me say this Yoruba, mélòó ni Jerome? How many am I? Who are me? So it's not that maybe I'm that one popular person. So yeah, people get to see me. I was always in one or two activities, and now that's why it's like a rude awakening. I was never in that. And when I was even attending a youth church where I have a youth pastor, I think the pastor shakes me twice, and that was because he was shaking other people. He does not know me. Do you understand? So it wasn't about it wasn't about how did I even remember that Pastor Judah shake me twice? Oh my god, I'm weird. So it wasn't about the fact that I was known or something. It was the fact that the sermons make you feel seen. The environment makes you feel seen. They recognize your struggles. Local church will not say, there's somebody here that is struggling with praying consistently, whether you are or not, it makes you feel sane. I mean, you know that okay, they can relate to your struggles. Local church doesn't say that. They preach like they know that their members are filled and all of that. And it used to pain my chest because I'm like, I'm not even being seen. And sometimes, as a Nigerian, and if your parents are ministers or pastors, it makes it twice as difficult to tell your parent that I'm a hyper, I want to go to another church because I feel led to and I just want to grow. Although my parents are very understanding because I had a conversation with them. And trust me, I had the opportunity to leave and attend another church, but distance could not. And I'm someone that I used to say this thing that God is not far away. So why should you be spending maybe 1,000 naira on transport every Sunday to go to church? In this Lagos where things are hard and I didn't even have a job as of January. So that was taxing for me. So I could not continue. So I just had to come back to my parents' church. So some people don't even know. I think I read on Twitter yesterday where someone was saying, "How do you bring up the conversation of changing church to your dad that is a pastor?" It's a rude awakening, honestly speaking. The fact that it's cold and all of that, and then you still cannot even opt out. You just have to manage until maybe you go for service and never return. Start living your life as the adult that you are. Now, I consider myself a young adult, not a adult, because if I tell my parents I'm an adult, any other small benefit I'm getting with is that's a joke. But then I consider myself a young adult. So I'm like, how do we blend what is going on with our lives? We people that are still in school, I envy you guys. I mean people that hang out in school or people that, you know, did not go home, rented an apartment. I envy you guys, but I do not because responsibilities of being an adult, I feel like I'm running away from it currently. So I'd rather stay at home. But then one thing that God showed me last week was the fact that I penned something in my journal and I got to see it again. Let me read it out to you just the way it is and then we wrap this up. No environment defines my operation. My operation in Christ defines my environment. So that means there are no dry wells, just dry people. So as long as I'm in Christ, I define my environment. I think I remember that I got this from one sermon I listened from Pastor Femi, Apostle Femi Lazarus. So, and it just made me realize that fine, local church might not be feeding how much you want it to feed, but you can get fed, honestly. And it's not by jumping on each and every online meeting, but you can get fed. I feel like one thing that local church did to me so far is made me realize that I've been a lazy Christian. Um the gymnastic of youth church sometimes make you feel like you've got it all covered. But now that I know that I've not got anything all covered, it makes me always every blessed day I'm always saying, God help me. Nadaya day. God help me. Nadaya day. There's no day that pass that I don't say that because I really know that if I don't say that Nadaya day, like it's not about the meme or the jokes on me. Nari die I day. So it made me want to depend more. It makes me want to because I'm still in this situation anyway, I'm still attending the local church. It makes me want to depend more. It makes me see God like if I don't have it, I'm going to die. So and youth church sometimes because there are always activities that feed your spirit. So there's this charge, you're always charged. And so now that there's no always charge and I don't even attend weekly services here because my dad's church is far apparently and as much as I still attend local church, I still don't even get to attend weekly service. So it's just Sundays. So you see how bad it is that there's not much of fellowship with the fellow brethren. This one is fellowship with yourself and God. So you need to understand that, like I said, what I'm leaving you with is there are no dry wells, just dry men. So build something that can sustain you even on the days where you're not being fed properly. Taking something that can sustain you for the journey is far. So that's what I believe in you with. Thank you for listening to Troubled Water Set Still today. I pray that every troubled waters in your heart is set still and that this week God strengthens your heart, God opens your eyes to see Him beyond the natural and He helps you to understand Him better. Bye.